How y'all doing, everybody? I'm Tony Saylor, and this is my skate story. Let's see, where should I begin? What started me to get into what we call the ATL style culture, ATL style, you know? Well, in the beginning, I was skating in California, Long Beach or whatnot. Family moved from California to Georgia. This is where my roots are at, Atlanta, Georgia. So as I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, I had to adjust to things that they do in Atlanta. And one of those things was skating. When I got into the skate world, it wasn't for me to get into the skate world because that's what everybody was doing. It just happened to be something that I kind of accidentally fell across. But I've been skating for about 40 years. So at the age of 4, I started off skating. But I'm gonna go ahead and transition when we got here to this point. First skating rink that I went to was Golden Glide. Golden Glide was the first skating rink that I went to. When I went into Golden Glide, you know, just put on some skates, rental skates, got on the floor, started skating. Wasn't that good at the style because the style wasn't really known to me. I was just trying to go around in a circle. But as I was going around the circle, I would see all these people do these things on skates that I was just like, yo, what is that? I've never seen it before. Never seen it before. And like I said, I've been skating since I was 4. So in California, I'm used to skating, you know, outside, not technically at a rink. So when I got to a skating rink, it was different. The music was different. The people were different. And what I saw was a lot of crews or a lot of people dressed alike, had the same clothing on. They were doing the same intricate moves. And I was just blown away. And it was almost like the music went along to what they were doing, and I watched how people interacted with them. It was like they were celebrities or stars. And when I saw that, I was just so intrigued that I just wanted to, like, you know, get in on it. It caught me by surprise. But there are some rules to trying to get in some type of style or some type of culture that I didn't know. And I found out, you know, firsthand with some of those crews. One crew in particular that caught my attention was ran by Yogi. Some of them are known by the Gorilla Brothers. I'm not sure what team name they had, but they're one of the OGs or whatnot. It was like 5 of the guys. And they all had on these like Dickie outfits, all black, and had black hats on with a scarf, and they had gloves, and they were just skating. And next thing I know, they did a move where they kind of looked to the right, looked forward, grabbed a hat, passed it, and they were all on one accord. I was blown away. And I tried to, like, you know, mimic and get beside them, and I kept feeling that, hey, you in the way. And that's when I learned about our etiquette when it comes to crews, when it comes to skating as one. I learned that etiquette real fast. In the midst of that, you know, like I said, I was young at the time when that happened. I was like 15 or whatnot, 14, 15 when that happened. As I'm skating and continue to go to Golden Glide, I ran into, you know, some few people that I saw that was trying to get it as well. The first person I ran into was by the name of Jock and Elijah. They were 2 brothers. They were really good at skating, and you know, they kind of had that leadership role, so they kind of like took me underneath their wing. So as I was skating with them, we were teaching ourselves things to do as we watched the OGs, the legends of today and whatnot, of how they did things. And one of those legends was like Levi. Another one was D'Angelo Holt. Of course, you had Skate Man, which is known by Al Fleming. You had Keith Donaldson. You had Sean Walker, which later on I'll tell that story how me and him crossed paths, and I learned a lot from him. You just had a lot of different OGs that were there. And as I got into with Jock and Elijah, I ran into another cat around my age named Antonio Brown. I'm sorry, cat named Antonio. Antonio and me just linked. It was like me and him were like on the same page of what we were trying to do. And it was me, Jock, Elijah, and Antonio. And as we were just, you know, grinding it out and learning things, we ran into another cat by Sean Dillard. And Sean Dillard, you know, he had his own type of flavor or whatnot. He came from the west side. You know, right now we're on the east side when this time period takes place. And it took place on Thursday nights. So I'm just fast forwarding, telling y'all how things went. And as we're just learning or whatnot, we're actually kind of building the crew, but not building the crew. We just meet on a Thursday because that was the main night. I'll see you next week. All right, bet, shake hand, whatnot. That's how our typical, encounters was, what I'm saying? Because life be life and you go out and do your own thing. And then we meet up on Thursdays. We really never called each other and said, hey, you going to the rink and stuff like that. It wasn't set up that way until we start getting that recognition. However, we skated for a while, and then, life been life, and then people started to fade away, and that left me and Antonio and Sean was kind of like still doing stuff, but we wasn't really, traveling here, traveling there. This is all home base, just like how you have today's skaters, they go to a skating rink and it's a particular day, like if it's a Monday at Old National, they skating there. That was our Thursday. Thursday was a popular night. And just to bring you back to, there was certain DJs that later become DJs that, are traveling with artists or working with a radio station. They are, those were our DJs at the time, and the BPMs that were played at the skating rink at that time were between like 103 and 133. So we developed a style by watching the OGs at this time. Myself and Antonio and Sean kind of started to make our own type of routines. And as we start making our own routines, that's when other players start coming into play. A guy by the name of Ronald Crenshaw and his cousin came into play. As that started to happen, let me just give you an idea of what we kind of were trying to accomplish at that time period. Back in the day, if you can skate, you got a lot of attention from the opposite sex. A lot of females like skaters. So we in a time period where you didn't have to have or make $150,000 to $200,000 a year to get somebody's attention. There's things that you just had to be a part of. Either you were on a football team, you was in a band, you was someone known in the streets for dancing, talent shows or whatnot, or you was a skater. So with me, at that time, I had a lot of stuff going on. I liked to dance, I was into sports, and skating was just an additive to what I was doing. So when I linked up with those guys and we were just grinding it out, I started to really like skating a lot more. I started to see it from a different lens. I was coming up with routines in my head, and this is the period where the people that you skated with, you start locking in real hard with. And like I said, and me and Antonio have been skating, we were skating together for a long period of time before we met everybody else. And we had already developed a chemistry. But when other players started coming in, not saying that, we were enemies or anything, we were like, not official group, but we was a group. We started to have chemistry with other people inside our skate, little group or whatnot. So like I said, Jock and me was tight, solid. When Antonio came in, then it was kind of like me and Antonio. And then when Ronald came in, Ronald kind of added to the game where he added fashion, he added a certain look, a certain presence that he came in with, because he was like a football star or whatnot, handsome dude, a lot of girls, were very attracted to him and whatnot. So he brought that energy into what we had going on. And with me, I was more, I saluted him, salute to Ronald and whatnot. I kind of like started really clicking up with Sean. Not because, we just changed who we hang with. It was like that skate chemistry. And let me just pause here. Let me just say this so everybody understands what I'm saying. When it comes to skate chemistry, I've skated with so many people, but there is not, I'm gonna say that, I have not had the chemistry, skate chemistry that I've had with Sean Dillard. Skating with Sean Dillard, it went to a whole different level. Me and Sean start developing routines together to the point where people were like, yo, see those cats? Where we had OGs pull us in to want to teach us. And back then you didn't look at it like that, you know, but when I look back at all the OGs. Every time they see me, they always ask, hey man, what's up with you and Sean? Y'all doing something? And back in the day, we was like, y'all was like, yeah, we doing this, we doing that. Man, y'all gonna take this somewhere. I would always get that when it came to me and Sean. So our chemistry, it was magnificent. I never had that chemistry with anybody else, even though that I was real tight with other skaters. It's just that I was tight with Sean. I was tight with a lot of people at that time. Our chemistry was so unique and so well put together when we hit the floor, from speed to technique to style. I mean, we won trophies, we won battles. We got to the point where people were coming up to us asking us for autographs. And remember what I said, you know, our kind of idea of skating was to impress the opposite sex, not just to battle other folks, but when we out there doing what we're doing on the floor, people are watching, and the opposite sex, which is females, were watching us. And it was one particular time we was being watched. I didn't know that the girls came up to us and they were like, hey, we want to skate with you, and I want my cousin to skate with you. And that was like a ongoing thing. I never had that with anybody else. So you gotta understand, our chemistry was lit back in the day. But as we're growing up or whatnot, you know, saying the way the skate world in Atlanta worked was you in high school, Thursday night, Sunday night, and then what ends up happening, people go to college and then you don't see them anymore because life be lifing. With us, some of the guys that I skated with, we continued to just skate because that's what we did. That became the norm. We didn't leave and disappear and never came back. We actually, you know, left and came back, or we stayed. During that time, as I'm going through the motions with the guys, you know, I had different leaderships that came. So the leadership was Jock, then Ronald. Once Ronald pursued college and certain things happened that made him pull away from the skate world. I'm not gonna get into that, but certain things happened. When that happened, it left a void. So between me and Antonio, it was kind of something that, hey, we gotta keep this thing up. Not because, you know, it's just something that this is what we did every Thursday and every Sunday. And this is before, this is just on the crest of Cascade coming to be. Once Cascade came to be, we started to get into the rhythm of trying to show everybody, not just at Golden Glide, start showing that we were winning trophies. So we're like, hey, you know, let's start to stretch our limits. And that was the reason Ronald was so effective. Ronald had the idea of, hey, we go here, we go here, we go there. And of course, us traveling, we had no idea of how to plan a trip or whatnot. Ronald's expertise and his resources that he brought to the group allowed us to do such things. And back in the day, we didn't really have an official name. Sometimes we were called the Georgia Boys. You know, just something simple, you know. We all knew, you know, learned our routines together. So we didn't really have an official name. That's when, as we decided to take the journey on traveling, of course, you know, going to a different state. Ronald had, you know, he was a person that always had got it set up for us. We were able to see other people, other styles or whatnot. So at that time that we were coming up, there wasn't a representation that would travel. The only skate crews officially, and let me just go back to say this. When I was coming up, skate crews start falling off because life start lifing. People start having families, and I was young at the time, so I'm just in my early 20s, and I'm about to go on this crest of traveling, not knowing where it's gonna take us, because I got a huge following of people that want to represent what we do on skates. So there was just one period where we decided to go to Alabama. And before we went to Alabama, I was like, yo, look, we don't really see representation at a skate party. Prior to us going outside the state, we had attended skate parties here in Georgia. They didn't look like the skate parties now. But when we showed up to the skate parties that was in Georgia, the representation for Atlanta, we didn't see our OGs out there. We saw a whole bunch of different folks. There was some OGs that was there, but they wasn't really highlighted. There was one guy, I can't remember his name, and Tail Reed at the time. That's how I knew her, was from a skate park. Like, oh my gosh, these people, they're winning trophies, they're doing this. And I'm like, yo, I think we're good enough to do these type of things or whatnot. And Ronald agreed, and Tonio agreed, and Sean agreed. So we had to find out when these skate parties were going to happen. We didn't know how to, go about that. We didn't know who was who. And at that time, there was a male individual that was known in the skating rink. There was individuals that we didn't know to be the official person to say, hey, when's your next party? Because we want to be, we want to get in on the mix. It was like when we showed up, we were guests in Atlanta at somebody's skate party. And we wasn't really welcomed because we were young. So there's people in their 40s and stuff, and we're in our 20s. So the music was different, So when we jumped in, it was just like, hey, they're a little bit too aggressive. We want to. Their BPMs were different from the BPMs that we were, used to. So, but that never stopped anything. We were interested. We wanted to know. So this one time we was going to Alabama. Ronald set it up. We went there. It was cool. It was dope. And it became an annual thing. We're gonna go back. At that particular time, this is where the things changed. Ronald is no longer with us. I took over. I said, all right, I wanted us to be official. And I created a skate team called Georgia Rampage. In the midst of creating Georgia Rampage, so let me give you the time periods. 2000. I want to say 2003, yeah, about 2003, 2002, kind of started creating that, but not officially yet. It got created officially, I want to say 2003, I want to say, because I had to go overseas, and when I came back in 2004. So I was really amped to do something. So when I created Georgia Rampage, we were able to go back to Alabama a couple times, but let me go back. Before we went to Alabama, this is how we put Atlanta on the map. I found out who was going to Atlanta, people that wasn't part of the crew, and other folks that, said, hey, y'all going to Alabama? They got a, skate party, Dog Pound. It's like, yeah. I said, hey, let's all wear red, because what I saw at skate parties was they would say the state or the region, not region, but a different state, and they'll show up in certain colors, and it might be like 12 out there. It might be 3 out there. I said, yo, they got a prize going on for the most represented state. So what ended up happening, I was like trying to tag everybody and say, hey, look, this is what we're gonna do when we get down there on the 14th. We're gonna rock it, da-da-da. And I think it was like on a Martin Luther King weekend or whatnot. And so one night we showed up, and I say we were at least about 25 to 30 deep. My crew, just random crews. And we got out there and represented and won a huge trophy. And that's when the whole representation of Atlanta really started to get its buzz. It started in a different state. It didn't technically start in the state, which in the state Atlanta already had a buzz, but it wasn't like, hey, this is an ATL style. This is Atlanta. We didn't have to say that because we weren't trying to represent it in that way. It was already a representation. Hey, the cats from Atlanta or whatnot. It just wasn't like, hey, this is a style, this is our style. We didn't do it like that. But as we start going to other states, like, what's that y'all doing? And we would tell them the actual name of the routine. Oh, that's crisscross. Oh, that's the stab. But it didn't fall under a huge umbrella until somebody was like, a lot of people, anybody could have said ATL, oh, that's the ATL style, but it wasn't really catching to other states. So again, life is life, and we doing our thing. The crew is growing. Georgia Rampage. Around 2008, I had to deploy. This is when I said, all right, we're gonna make Georgia Rampage official. So before I deployed, I said, hey, I got with one of the individuals that Ronald introduced me to. And Ronald is gone now, and she was very knowledgeable on how to start a business at the time. And I said, hey, I'm gonna deploy. Let me know what I need to do to get this off the ground. Let me know how much it's gonna cost, incorporation and all that stuff. She gave me all the information, sent her the money, wired the money, made sure, and gave her, instructions on what I want prior to me returning. Because hey, you deployed, you never know you're coming back, whatnot, but luckily I'm here, I did. So in 2009, my goal was to, hey guys, I gotta go, but go ahead, hit the streets, hit it hard, hit it running, and as I deployed, came back 2009, not too much motion was going on while I was gone. So when I hit the ground, photo shoots, we going in hard. We representing in these rinks. I don't care if it's Old National, I don't care if it's Gold Glide, I don't care if it's Cascade. We're doing it. We're going hard or whatnot. And that was in 2009. When I came back, the group started to grow, starts really going in. Prior to that, I did some stuff prior to deploying. So in 2004, I'm at Cascade. 2001, I think that's when Cascade opened. 2004, I'm at Cascade with the team, myself, Sean, Antonio, some other cats, Deshaun, Kyle, which we know is Push. We're all at Cascade, we're all our friends or whatnot. We all skate together. What ended up happening was a director came and was like, hey, I want to shoot a movie here, man. I like the way y'all skate, blase, blase, blase. And we was like, okay, cool, But prior to that, there was other people coming there saying they're gonna do a music video, whatnot. And, it either happened or it didn't happen. So we're like, all right, cool, because we at Cascade, we doing our thing. We're not thinking about, there's no cameras. There's no cell phones and catching all this. It is straight skating. Everybody, that's where we are like battling either at Cascade or battling at Golden Glide. This is straight wheels on that flow. And there is nothing going on in the middle. This is all you got to be a skater. So we doing this, and so he pulled us to the side, somebody whistled us over, and I saw Paul, which is the ones, Doug over there, and he's just talking to all of us, and we're like, okay, cool, boom. That was in 2004. 2005 came, something's happening. They're talking about auditioning for a movie. We're like, what's going on? Okay, cool, let's go ahead and try to audition. We get down to Cascade. The line is all the way to the street. And so you had to go register. And as we're going, we're like, I ain't never seen that many skaters in Atlanta. It wasn't that many skaters in Atlanta. These people are from all over the world they are trying to be part of the movie. We don't know what this movie is called. We don't know what this movie, we know this movie is dealing with skating. And we was like, hey, we some skaters, we gonna try to get in. And that conversation that I had with the team, I was like, man, look, let's go in together, sign up, and try to get on there. We don't have a clue how this movie is gonna turn out or what they want. Let's just try to get in as a crew. Because as I was doing the skate crew thing, I'm trying to push the crew agenda, not by ourselves, by me go in and you go in. I'm trying to push the crew agenda. But as I got in there, we signed or whatnot, what ended up happening, I got number 456, you got number 222, he got number 893. So we were separated, and we was like, dang, we ain't gonna be able to do our routines together. So luckily we did know how to skate by ourselves, because that's how we came in the game, skating by ourselves. We just united. So as that's happening, we get together, they split us up. We like, hey man, look, just do your thing, blah, 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 So Sean went in, did his thing, boom, killed it. Tonio went in there, did his thing, killed it. Jock went in there, did his thing, killed it. Some other folks that was part of the crew went in their thing, killed it, cool. The ones went in there, killed it. what's that? Kelvin and Jamar went in there, killed it. Then I go in there, you know what I'm saying? I'm nervous and whatnot. I go in there and I see the judges and they put you in with like 12 other skaters on the floor at one time. DJ plays the music. And then you just have to, you got a number and they'll just mark who they want. So I get on there, and at this time, this is where Healthy Tony was in play. So I had a lot of different moves. So I saw T.I. and I said, oh yeah. So I'm skating and they put on the best ATL song that I needed. So I'm doing, and at that time, we have our own skate routines. I'm not stabbing, I'm not doing none of that. I'm doing Tony. And Tony was known as the wild child. So I'm doing my moves, I see T.I., so I jumped up in there, spent, rolled off my back, then went up back in, hit a tuck, bam. T.I. saw that, hey, do that again. I knew right then I knew I was gonna be on, because I said I wanna get in on this movie. So boom, did my other stuff. Antonio hitting splits, Antonio hitting his moves, Sean doing his slide, his pull up and everything. Like we all did our own, you know, individual sanctioned moves that we've been working on or whatnot. And so when that happened, we all got on. And like I said, I'm always gonna say this, life be lifing. At that particular time, well, I told you, Sean Dillard got on. Unfortunately, Sean had other things that he had to take care of. He had to move on with his life in a different part of the state, and which was a good thing. We hated that he had to go, because if Sean did not leave, Sean Dillard would have been in the movie. So what ended up happening at that time, myself, Deshaun, Antonio, we made the cut, then we moved on to the next level. The next level was for speaking roles. Boom. We didn't get the speaking roles. Kevin and Jamar got in, and the ones got in, but we had no clue that they got in, had no clue. So I didn't hear anything for about a month. And I was like, yo, what's going on? Like, you know, Deshaun said, let me make some phone calls, let me see what's going on. Because as we were doing our audition, he linked in with somebody there. Fast forward, make short story short, he got a contact. They told us, hey, look, we need a crew. Show up at this address at this time. The address happened to be Old National. They said, how many people you got? We were like 3. Well, y'all need to have 4. So I was like, dang, Sean's not here. Sean's in a different state. So I'm like, man, who can we add as a 4th person that knows our routines? And you know, we're talking, and then Antonio was like, what about Kyle? And I was like, he can learn, he don't know all of them, but he can learn them. So he was like, all right, babe, I'll give Kyle a call. I called Kyle, let him know. He was a little hesitant at first because he didn't know. He was like, you know, I'm already in. I said, well, this is like official in. When you say you already in, you got a part? And he was like, not necessarily. I said, look, you either can roll with what you got, you can roll with us, just let me know. I need to know now so I can give it to Deshaun and Deshaun can put it up. So he let me know. I hit Deshaun, I said, all right, Kyle's in. Boom. Deshaun made a call, boom. We showed up. Next thing you know, all the actors, the director, skate choreographer, the ones, Kevin and Jamar, and when they saw us, because what I didn't tell y'all was, the ones was our rival crew at the time, for many years. So the tension in that was legit. So whatever we did in there, we were really giving it all. They gave it their all, we gave it our all. And so after that, man, the movie was originally supposed to be about Jelly Bean. That's how we became the Preps. The Preps is a old school skate crew from back in the day. And with the Preps, they had their own moves. Unfortunately, the movie had to get changed, or the script had to get changed so many times because people didn't want to sign off. There was a lot of money spent to do ATL. And at that time, that was during Hurricane Katrina. So a lot of stuff was going on in 2005. 2006, the movie dropped. And the rest is history. From there, Cascade got a facelift, because Cascade did not look like how Cascade looks now. It got a facelift due to ATL, and from that, it was an amazing situation because it never stopped. Now we're pushing the agenda of ATL style, because we're being, recognized. We're doing routines, we're doing this, but at the time after ATL, the movie film, skate crews were around, but like I said, life be life, and you had to really be locked in. Which there was some crews that were learning what we were learning, and they were looking up to us, and they were traveling with us. But again, you might get into a relationship, you might go off to the military like I did, you might go off to college, or you might do your own thing. Skating was something that's a part of us. It wasn't something that it's a must that you do. It's just something in Atlanta or in Georgia that was known to be done. For me, I enjoy skating. I love skating. I like what I do with skating. After doing movies, doing commercials, TV, you name it, magazines, doing a book, becoming an instructor, where I instruct the techniques on how to skate for Emory universities. I've been working with them for 3 years. It has, for me, has grown to be something that I like and enjoy. But what I can say is where we're at now with the skating and whatnot. I definitely enjoy where we're at now. The young generation, has really stepped up when it comes to Atlanta. If you look at it, when I look at it now, it's more younger folks skating than it was back in the day. And it's more young folks traveling than it was back in the day when I was skating. And there's more technology now, now we got social media. You throw that into the play. And there's a lot of money, there's a lot of opportunities. When I was coming up, I had to fight for all the opportunities. Right now, and this thing we call support. Everybody doesn't get support, right? If you happen to receive support from people in the skate community, great, kudos, because it makes things a lot easier for you to get to where you're trying to get. For me, I barely get support, but it has made me the person that I am, because now I can say, I'm going to do it this way. And I don't have to worry about us individuals telling me that's wrong. You can't do it that way. I'm a person, I love to prove people wrong. I love to show people, okay, that's cool. If I don't get that support or whatnot, and I gotta use my own, and I still grow, that lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. Cool. As I was saying, where we're at today with the skating and whatnot, it's a lot of opportunities for a lot of people. Enjoy what you do. Believe in yourself. Don't let nobody tell you that this is wrong. You're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be taking this skating and putting it in this atmosphere and then putting it in that atmosphere. We don't own it. Until us owns it, then we can apply the rules. But I will say, make sure you try to do the right thing at the right time, and just do it all the time. Live a good life. Skating is not the only thing. Utilize skating, let it help build you, yes, if you want to become a skater. And if you don't want to become a skater and you just want to skate for fun, you can do that. You don't have to skate like this person. You don't have to skate like that person. You can skate how you want to skate, and whatever makes you happy, how you want to be perceived. It's all up to you. We are adults. I'm in the 40s, I don't have time to be arguing and fighting with somebody. I can't do that. I want to live like a life like how Mike Tyson tells people, back then he was a savage. Now he's just trying to live the rest of his life in a proper way where he's happy. He's happy at where he's at. And I tell people who want to skate or trying to get into skate, it helps you build confidence, because you could be scared of doing something. There's a lot of people scared to get on this floor because they scared of falling. But think of that as life. When you fall, you either gonna get up and keep going, or you gonna stay on the ground. I like that theology when it comes to skating. And that's what I tell my students. Say, hey, yeah, we all fall, but we got two things, a choice and a chance. Take that chance. And once you take that chance, now you have many choices. You can either travel forward, you can travel to the left, you can travel to the right, you can travel to the back. Take that choice. And if it doesn't work and you fall again, use that other chance. Get up and select what you want to do with it. That's how I relate skating to life, man. You just get up and go. Skating, for me, has went into many different directions. And I'm not ashamed to say that some of the stuff that it has taken me has, been a life lesson. I'm not saying I'm perfect in any type of way, but I say right now, I'm trying to live perfect. I'm trying to live close to being perfect. And sometimes you're gonna run into people that don't like that. Understood, you know what I'm saying? I guarantee you, you don't know what the next man is going through. Somebody can be going through hell. Somebody can have it worse than you. You never know. So with me, I just try to make sure that I'm enjoying my life, and I'm enjoying my life with people. As it relates to skate crews, for the longest, since 98, I've always tried to push the crew agenda. And with that crew agenda, you mostly see me in the background. I try to make sure everybody's happy. I try to make sure everybody is, getting a fair treatment, Right now, for the last 3 years, I've been with my current skate crew, Sick on Skates. And I make sure all my skaters get paid every show. As soon as we hit that stage, as soon as we hit that location or whatnot, I try to make sure all the contracts, everything that we need to push the agenda, to push the purpose, is already set. No one's leaving disgruntled or upset. And with Sick on Skates crew, I started Sick on Skates crew in 2009. Sick on Skates crew started with 5 women. Tail Reed, Lanier Maganote, Alicia, Toria, and Miss Camille Gilmore. They actually helped me establish to Sick on Skates crew. Like I said, I was the founder and the CEO of Georgia Rampage. During that time, it was going well, but there were certain things that had happened that after I came back from my deployment, I learned. I didn't like the direction that it was going in, and so therefore, just so that we're not shaming anybody or throwing anybody on the bus, I had to take the responsibility in shutting it down. When I shut the crew down, Georgia Rampage continued to go, but not by my blessing or whatnot. And that's just a whole other story. It continued, but it died. After it continued in 2009, I just decided that I was done with it. I was not going to, pursue anything dealing with skating. And Lanier Maganote contacted me and was letting me know, hey man, it's not the same without you. And she had got a gig that she said she couldn't handle. She didn't know what to do. She said, hey, can you help me out? Or can you take this gig? And I was just like, well, what is it? And when she told me what it was, and then I talked to the client, I was intrigued, and I was like, okay, let me get back into the saddle. So I made a called Antonio up, said, man, I need you on this one. I said, I'm about to start it back up. And so that's how Sick on Skates grew, but with a twist. Sick on Skates crew, yes, it's a crew of skaters. The way that I run the crew now, you don't belong to me. You're representing a brand that actually performs or do other type of gigs or whatnot. You are able to go wherever you want, do whatever you want. There is no type of binding agreement. And I know that sounds crazy. The reason because of that is because what I've went through in the past with other crews. And what I mean by, you have people that want things to go in directions that they want, that the crew or the brand may not be going. And that causes conflict and issues. Think of someone who already has conflict and issues in their life, and now they're a part of a crew, and they never got that fixed, and they're bringing it to a crew. That stuff starts to mixing around like cancer, and it starts to kill the crew. So what I've seen was, okay, Tony, this is inevitable. No matter what, so this happens not just into a skate crew, this just happens, period. So what is the best approach? Because, I saw something out on social media saying that, they were talking about crews and how they had high turnovers, or that's why they have high turnovers, because y'all can never get together. Well, my rebuttal to that is that comes with the territory. Crews don't stay the same. Crews are like the skate world. It has to evolve. It has to evolve. And if this part of the block is not evolving, what ends up happening, everything else starts to grow. And that block either falls off and does something else or never comes back. That's what happens. So with my skate crew, or the way that I run a skate crew, I run it as, hey, this is going to evolve. So the purpose may be like, okay, I'm gonna battle y'all, I'm gonna battle them, I'm gonna battle them. And then the purpose might be like, okay, look, we're done with battling. What we're gonna do, we're gonna do stuff for the community. And then it evolves from that. I've done stuff for the community so many times. Jose Feed the Hungry, some nursing homes, just car washes, fundraiser events. I've done so many community stuff with the YMCA. There's a lot of videos out there in social media. I've done so many community events that my purpose with this crew has branched into other things, and the purpose continues to grow and continues to evolve. You may see some skaters that's been with me for 11 years, and you may see some skaters that's been with me for only 1 year. It's a change that I can't control. I just have to keep the purpose for the brand going. And I inform everybody who comes into this direction, hey, look, this is the purpose. I understand you want to get those likes up. I understand you want to get that following. That's not where my purpose is with this. My purpose with this is to at least help you grow to where you should be. I have a family-based organization, and everybody that has came through Georgia Rampage or Sick on Skates or have been affiliated with me, even if it went left, they were able to grow with what they do when it comes to skating. And those that are still with me are continuing to grow along with SOS.
Okay, last one. What would you say your most intense battle back in your skater days was? Or that just had you okay, we gotta push it.
We gotta push it? All right, so like I said, the most intense battle that I've had and had to encounter, of course, like I told people in my last interview, that the ones were my rival.
Yeah.
They were my rival. So there was an event that me and Sean, we just came back from an audition for America's Best Dance Crew that we didn't get.
Yeah.
So we're traveling from Chicago back to the A, and as we're traveling, we don't get a chance to stop at the house. We have to go straight to the rink. We don't know, normally I know who we're battling. I know the ones are gonna be there, but I don't know who else is gonna be there. So I'm like, yo, don't worry, let's just pray, blase, blase. So pull up, we pray, go straight in. And this was a Kojak and T event.
Yeah.
They had our numbers, put it on their backs. We didn't get a chance to stretch. We didn't get a chance to drink no water. We got on the floor. No warm up. No warm up. Got on the floor. And as we're on the floor, we are talking to each other. Okay, man, look, let's take it slow. Let's give them. We didn't want to give them our our stuff yet. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's work with the knee. Boom. So we got a routine called knee. Boom. We hit knee. Boom. They going. Boom. Like we don't even get a chance to give them their music. So we're going off of whatever they playing.
Yeah.
So we like, all right, cool. Bam. Boom. Then next thing you know, then the ones get on there. Then the jam. So now I see jam skaters in the building. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, cause jam skaters break dance. Yeah. So we was like, and they come with like routines. So me and Sean at the time had at least 4 and a possible. Then we had 2 stationaries. Then we had two big tricks that was inside of a routine that we can mix up. We had 4 tricks, 4 big tricks, 2 that we could put in the routine. So I was like, and mind you, when we saw the jam skaters, we're seeing who's there, and we're like, oh dang, he gonna pull out some monster stuff. So we did our thing, and then jam skaters jump on there. Boom. Then some OGs jumped on there. Then they started, the judges went, and I was like, okay, I know we beat them, but I don't know if we beat them. So bam, the ones got eliminated. I was like, dang, they got eliminated. So next thing I know, me and Sean tied for first place with the jam skaters. So they was like, yo, we gotta do a tiebreaker. So I looked at Sean, I said, Sean, we're gonna have to throw everything at them. We already are tired. We already like, mind just boggled, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, let's throw it. And then I was like, hey man, let me see if I can get a song played for us. And I said, man, just play something, just play something fast. Man, they played something fast. Me and Sean, like I said, I never had this chemistry with any other skater. Me and Sean got out there through all our routines, all our tricks. We didn't have nothing in the tank. We threw it all out, no falls. And we just, going in, bam. And then the jam skaters went, well, they went before us. So we had a little advantage to see, okay, that's why we had to throw everything, because they was out there working. The thing that they didn't have together was a trucking routine. My crew, we had trucking routines out this world. They had stationary routines. We had a couple. So I said, man, let's throw what everybody's used to, what we do. So we just throwing everything at them. And then next thing you know, man, we came out first place winners. When that happened, well, I mean, it's like it turned everything around for me and Sean, because we just went to America's Best Dance Crew with one of the top jam skater crews that, the jam skaters that went on America's Best Dance Crew actually battled the skaters that we went to go audition with. The ones that we auditioned with outskate those guys. So for us to go there and then don't make the show, it was a travesty. It was just, people were ready to quit. So me and Sean like, all right, we didn't make the show. Okay, cool, let's go back home. But it was like, all right, we didn't win that, but we gonna win this. So that was the battle. Out of all the other battles, man, it was, now it's like, I was like, who's battling? Who we battling against? Okay, yeah, we got him. I battled the ones 2 other times. There's 3 trophies. We got 3 trophies. 2 trophies from the one, when the ones were involved. On the 3rd time that we battled the ones, we had to battle Kelvin and Jamar. Kelvin and Jamar's speed is unmatched. It's just unmatched. We didn't win, but they became the new target.